Hey kid, this is video documentation is with regards to the removal and installation of the Angel Eyes in order to transfer them from your damaged headlight set in order to the replacement headlight set that we've sent you. Now it's a fairly straightforward procedure. Essentially all you have to do, this is more or less exactly the headlight that you have, and in this case it's already partially disassembled, so we've done exactly what you've done in the other case, whereas you removed the lens and the black headlight shroud. Now once that's removed, you should be able to see more or less this setup right here, and once you get to this point, it's really easy to just take them off. Essentially they just snap off, so you're going to go ahead and start at the top and gently pry them from their slots, and that will loosen the first ring. And go ahead and do the same for the other side right here. And sometimes if you can't get your fingers in there, it might also help to have just a small tool to kind of aid in prying them out. And go ahead and yank those out too. You can see both Angel Eyes should now be free. Now the next part of this will actually be disconnecting the rings from the rest of the assembly. Now for this part we might actually go to the back. As you can see, we're going to be able to find there should be a silver box in here, and it will be the inverter right here. Now to disconnect that, you just go ahead and unclamp right here. And they do have very small tabs, so sometimes it can be a bit tricky to see which end they disconnect, but as you can see they disconnect, and that should free the actual rings themselves. Going back to the front, that should free the rings from the inverter box, so you can just go ahead and fish the wire out, and you got one ring free. Go ahead and fish the wire out again, and you've got the other ring free. Now coming back to the back side of the headlight, you go ahead and free the inverter box by just unclipping right here, and this will allow you to transfer all the Angel Eye components over to the new headlight. Now the installation will be more or less the reverse of this, so I'll just go ahead and kind of briefly cover it for you. Please note that as this is disassembled, maybe some of the locations that we pull stuff from may be a bit different, but there should be access points along the headlight, you know, removing some of the rear covers, or even maybe sliding some of the wires through the top portion of the housing, where you will be able to kind of get all this stuff you know, set back in place. Now going back to the installation portion, what you're going to want to go ahead and do is actually line up the bottom tab portions of the Angel Eyes and actually hook those in place first. This is going to help you when reinstalling the headlights, or reinstalling the Angel Eyes, as it'll really get these you know, kind of lined up for you, and they should just snap in place. And see, they'll be more or less firmly in place like that, snapping them in. Always be sure to start from the bottom and just kind of be very gentle with them, as the plastic tabs can break if, you know, excessive force is used. So that being said, you move on to the next Angel Eye, and go ahead and do the same here as well, starting at the bottom and gently working your way up. And be mindful of the wires while you do so as well, just to ensure that they don't you know, get cut or anything like that. Now once both rings are firmly in place, they should have a solid feel to them, and now you can go ahead and kind of run your wires back into the rear housing like so. Now turning the headlight around, you can see we've got one wire right here. We may have to play with this wire a little bit just to get it to a more visible portion. So go ahead and send it through here. And now you can go ahead and connect your inverter box. And just a small note, this connector right here will actually already be on the headlight. And it should have an empty, or it should actually have another end like this that will be empty, because we shipped you a headlight set without the halogen Angel Eye rings, I believe. If you do happen to find this connected to halogen angel eye rings, you can easily just kind of pull this out by yanking this wire, and it should pull out with the grommet, and that'll kind of give you access to this to disconnect this if there is an existing angel eye ring. That being said, getting back to this, you would essentially just really plug back in this silver inverter box to the connector, and then reconnect the angel eye wires to the silver inverter box. Just be sure to make sure that the connections line up perfectly, because these are polarity sensitive. They should click in place in only one position, but just kind of be careful with that. And once done, you can just kind of safely tuck away everything inside the housing, and you should be all set. And at this point, we've already provided you with videos also for the xenon components, so you should be all set with that as well. This concludes the video documentation. Thank you for your time.